today this creative economy, I mean, the very term creative economy is kind of new. I mean, till a few years ago, nobody even talked about it. So, how's it that this thing has come up in the first place? How do you define, how do you describe that?
So one of the things was that historically when we thought of creative activities, and here creativity I'm defining in terms of artistic activities, it was thought of being, a leisure activity that is done after the serious work is over. In the evening you maybe listen to music. But in fact, this is an old-fashioned way of thinking about things. In the end, the creative economy is just as much as part of the economy. It creates jobs, it
It
generates
was not
value.
considered as an economy, creativity.
Yes, it was. As I said, it was.
Creative activity.
Is, you see, when people talk about leisure, they're saying that leisure is not an economic activity. But that's the wrong way of thinking about it. Work and leisure are actually not separate. Leisure is somebody's business. What may be leisure for me is an economic activity and serious work for other people. And so I think what has happened through the term creative economy is that we've begun to take the creative economy much more seriously. Now, what that does is that it recognizes that the creative economy is just as much an industry as anything from petrochemicals to electronics or any other sector that you want. And so therefore it needs finance, it needs regulations and laws. Copyright obviously is a hot topic, but it depends what sector you're talking about. Architecture may need changes in our building codes. There may be requirements in other sectors for changes. So the point I'm making is we've got to begin to think of the creative economy in the same way as we think of other economic activities. Now, that does mean then that we put in that effort. And as I said, with the coming of artificial intelligence, you're going to see an explosion of artistic capability being embedded in everybody's cell phone. And so, rather than be afraid of this, let us embrace this coming explosion of creativity. But at the same time, recognize that artificial intelligence and the tools that it will generate are good servants. They're not good masters. It will always require human creativity to use it for something that is useful, positive, etc. But that needs, again, as I said, just like you need finance, you need legal systems, you also need to have the technology and the skilling required to use that technology. So all of this, if I got up and told you, I need finance, I need laws, I need technology, typically mentally people are thinking of something else other than music or drama or movies. But in fact, this applies just as much to all of this.
Well, this government has taken a great interest in promoting this creative economy. Waves was organized a few months ago. But there's also the issue of free speech. Now, the sphere of free speech, the sphere of liberty is being shrunk, is getting shrunk, and political and intellectual elites, they demand, I mean, in one
See,
form
there
or
have
the
always been attempts. There will always be some people who do not want free speech. But let me say that as a writer myself, the space for free expression has dramatically gone up. I mean, social media, for example, allows for certain kinds of, yes, it causes echo chambers, but at the same time, it allows for expression which simply wasn't possible in the past when, for example, traditional media, the amount of control you could have on traditional media, you simply cannot have in social media. The new kinds of expressions that you're having, the debates over, for example, history, of which I am a part, you just couldn't have had in the past. So the free expression that you are seeing of new ideas, particularly in India, is unprecedented.